Fresh off their first title in more than 40 years, the New York Knicks are the team that's most likely to dominate the entire league next season. Let's start with the reigning Finals MVP, Jalen Brunson. The guard enters next season carrying a resume that not many players in the league can match. He's coming off a 2026 regular season where he played 74 games, starting every single one of them. He averaged 26.0 points per game, 6.8 assists, and 3.3 rebounds, all while lounging 35 minutes a night. That's a massive workload for any guard in this league. Now here's something wild. His scoring average was identical in back-to-back seasons. In 2024-25, he also averaged 26.0 points per game. But dig into the shooting numbers and things shifted. His field goal percentage dropped from 48.8% to 46.7%. His three-point percentage dropped from 38.3% to 36.9%. But his free throw percentage actually climbed, going from 82.1% up to 84.1%. His three-point attempts also kept climbing throughout his years with the Knicks. Back in the 2022-23 season, he was only taking 4.7 three-pointers a game. That number jumped to 6.8 the next year, dipped slightly to 6.1 the year after, and then shot up to 7.1 attempts per game this past season, the highest of his entire Knicks career. Once the playoffs started, everything changed for Brunson. He played all 19 playoff games and dropped 539 total points, which led every single player in the entire postseason. Victor Wembanyama was second with 524. His team went 16-3 across the whole playoff run. Here's a stat that puts his postseason scoring into perspective. His career regular season scoring average sits at 19.2 points per game, but his career playoff scoring average is 25.7 points per game. That's a jump of 6.5 points, and that jump is the largest playoff scoring increase in league history among players with at least 500 regular season games and 50 playoff appearances. In the clutch, Brunson's numbers get even more ridiculous. Since the 2023 postseason, he's racked up 144 clutch playoff points. No other player in that stretch had more than 85. He also piled up 364 fourth quarter playoff points over that same span, with the next closest player, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, sitting at 292. Then came the finals, and Brunson somehow elevated even further. He averaged 32.6 points, 4.2 rebounds, and 4.6 assists across 5 games against the Spurs. His clutch scoring in that series hit 22 points, the most by any player in a final series over the previous 15 years. He walked away with finals MVP honors after averaging 32.6 points a night. Now let's talk about what's actually settled heading into next season. Brunson is under contract for $37,739,521. That number represents about 22.73% of the league's salary cap, which sits at $164,961,000. He's not testing free agency anytime soon either, since he's locked in through the 2028-29 season, with that final year being a player option. Age-wise, Brunson turns 30 years old on August 31st, 2026. So essentially, his entire upcoming season will be played as a 30-year-old heading into his 9th year in the league. On the health side, there's one major factor to track. Brunson had surgery on July 7th, 2026 to repair a tendon issue in his left wrist and forearm. The reported recovery window was 6 to 8 weeks, and reports have suggested he could be fully healed by training camp in September. But that's a projection, not a guarantee, so it's worth watching closely as the season approaches. As for the roster around him, the core group is staying intact. Karl-Anthony Towns, who averaged 20.1 points and 11.9 rebounds last season, is still there. Mikal Bridges, who averaged 14.4 points while shooting 49% from the field and 37.1% from three, is also returning. OG Anunoby posted 16.7 points a night on 48.4% shooting from the field and 38.6% from three. Josh Hart chipped in 12 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 4.8 assists a game. So when you add it all up, Brunson is stepping into next season as a 30-year-old reigning Finals MVP, fresh off a 539-point playoff run, a 32.6 point per game Finals average, and a fully returning championship core around him. The numbers alone tell the story of a player operating at the absolute peak of his career trajectory heading into this next chapter. By the way, if you guys enjoy these deep dives, I'll be posting every day. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks. Anyways, up next, Karl-Anthony Towns steps into next season with a stat sheet that tells a totally different story than most people realize. In 2025-26, he played 75 games, starting every single one of them, and put up 20.1 points, 11.9 rebounds, and 3.0 assists a night, all in 31 minutes of action. Here's where it gets interesting though. That 20.1 scoring average was actually a drop from his first year in New York. In 2024-25, he averaged 25.2 points, 13.2 rebounds, and 3.2 assists. So his scoring fell by 5.1 points per game, and his rebounding dropped by 1.3 boards a night. His shooting percentages shifted too. Field goal percentage went from 52.6% down to 50.1%. His three-point percentage dropped from 42% all the way to 36.8%. But his free throw shooting actually climbed, jumping from 82.9% up to 85.8%. Now here's the number that really stands out. His career three-point percentage sits at 39.7%. So even with the dip, he's still knocking down shots at a rate that forces defenses to respect him beyond the arc. He was attempting around 4.1 threes a game and knocking down about 1.5 of them a night. Once the playoffs hit, Towns transformed into something totally different. He played all 19 playoff games, and his assist numbers jumped from 3.0 per game in the regular season up to roughly 4.9 assists per game in the postseason. That's a jump of nearly 2 assists a night. He finished the playoffs with 94 total assists and 50 turnovers, giving him an assist to turnover ratio of about 1.8, 8-1. Break it down by series, and it gets even wilder. Against Atlanta in the first round, he averaged 6 assists per game over 6 games. Against Philadelphia in the second round, that number jumped to 7.5 assists per game across 4 games, with only 9 total turnovers in that entire series. His assist to turnover ratio in that stretch was 3.33-1, which is an absurd number for a 7-footer. On April 30th, 2026, against Atlanta, Towns recorded 12 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists, giving him a playoff triple-double. That made him just the 3rd player in franchise history to pull that off, joining Walt Frazier and Josh Hart. His passing wasn't just going to one guy either. Over the playoffs, he dished out 21 assists to Brunson, 19 to Josh Hart, 18 to OG Anunoby, 15 to Mikal Bridges, 8 to Jordan Clarkson, 6 to Jose Alvarado, 4 to Miles McBride, 2 to Landry Shamet, and 1 to Mitchell Robinson. His plus-minus during the run was staggering too. Reports have him at a plus 262 for the entire postseason, which would top names like Stephen Curry's plus 245 in 2017 and Draymond Green's plus 227 that same year. During the 4-game sweep of Cleveland in the Eastern Conference Finals, he posted a plus 79, matching Kevin Durant's plus 79 from the 2017 conference.
Finals. Towns played all 19 playoff games for around 578 total minutes, averaging about 30.4 minutes a game. New York went 16-3 across the whole postseason, and their point differential of plus 283 was the highest in NBA postseason history. Let's talk contract numbers now. Towns is set to make $57,078,728 in the upcoming season. That makes him the highest paid player on the entire Knicks roster, ahead of OG Anunoby at $42,500,000, Jalen Brunson at $37,739,521, Mikal Bridges at $33,482,000, and Josh Hart at $20,924,000. His salary alone equals about 34.6% of the entire salary cap, which sits at $164,961,000 this year. His contract doesn't stop there either. He's got $61,015,192 locked in for the following season as well. Age-wise, Towns turns 31 during the upcoming season, and he's heading into his 12th year in the league. He was the number 1 overall pick back in 2015 out of Kentucky, and he's now a 6-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA selection, and the 2015-16 Rookie of the Year. One roster change worth tracking is that Mitchell Robinson is no longer with the team, which puts even more importance on Towns holding down the center spot. New York did bring in Andre Drummond as depth behind him though, so it's not like the cupboard is completely empty at that position. His career averages tell the bigger picture here too. 22.8 points, 11.1 rebounds, and 3.1 assists a game, shooting 52.2% from the field, 39.7% from 3, and 84% from the free throw line for his career. So heading into next season, Towns brings a resume of elite rebounding, efficient shooting for his size, and a passing role that expanded in a massive way during the championship run. The numbers show a player who evolved his game at the perfect time, going from a traditional scoring big into one of the most versatile offensive weapons on a championship roster. And we can't talk about the Knicks' success without covering OG Anunoby, who heads into next season carrying 2 championship rings, and the numbers behind his rise are honestly kind of wild. Let's start with his regular season. He played 67 games, starting every one of them, averaging 16.7 points, 5.2 rebounds, 2.2 assists, 1.6 steals, and 0.7 blocks a night. He shot 48.4% from the field, 38.6% from 3, and 82.8% from the free throw line. That scoring number is actually a big jump from his career average, which sits at 13.3 points per game. So he was scoring 3.4 points above his career mark, and he did it while only taking 12 field goal attempts a game. He wasn't jacking up shots to get there either, attempting about 6.1 threes and 3.3 free throws per game. His efficiency backs this up too. His effective field goal percentage was 58.1%, which is well above his career mark of 56.3%. His true shooting percentage sat at 62% for the regular season, and his free throw shooting jumped from a career mark of 77.4% up to 82.8%. Then the playoffs happened, and Anunoby basically became a different player statistically. Over 17 playoff games, he averaged 20.1 points, 6.3 rebounds, 1.6 assists, 1.5 steals, and 1.1 blocks a night. His shooting splits during that stretch were absolutely absurd. 56.1% from the field, 48.9% from 3, and 85.4% from the free throw line, giving him a true shooting percentage of 72.1%. That's a jump of 3.4 points per game in scoring from the regular season to the playoff, and a 10.3 percentage point jump in his three-point shooting. His true shooting number climbed by over 10 percentage points too. And here's the kicker. His turnovers actually dropped from 1.8 per game in the regular season down to 0.6 per game in the playoff. Only 10 total turnovers across all 17 games. He did miss 2 playoff games due to a hamstring strain suffered late in Game 2 against Philadelphia, sitting out Games 3 and 4 of that series. At the time of the injury, he was averaging 21.4 points per game in the postseason on 61.9% shooting from the field and 53.8% from 3. He returned in time for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals against Cleveland and never missed another game the rest of the way. His individual playoff scoring games were massive too. He dropped 29 points against Atlanta, 24 points against Philadelphia before the injury, 21 points against Cleveland, 28 points in Finals Game 3, and 33 points in Finals Game 4. That 33-point outburst in Game 4 came on 10 for 15 shooting, including 7 for 9 from 3, good for 77.8% from deep in that game alone. Defensively, Anunoby remains one of the best two-way players in the league. He earned a spot on the 2025-26 All-Defensive Second Team, marking his second career All-Defensive selection. He finished 10th in Defensive Player of the Year voting. Across the regular season, he racked up 104 steals and 48 blocks over 67 games. His playoff defensive matchups shot just 42.8% against him, and during fourth quarters specifically, opponents shot just 34.8% when he was the primary defender. His win shares number for the 2026 playoffs was 3.8, which led the entire postseason field, according to Basketball Reference. His overall plus-minus for the regular season was plus 407, and his playoff plus-minus came in at plus 163 across 17 games. Now let's talk contract. Anunoby is set to earn $42,500,000 this season, making him the second highest paid player on the Knicks behind Karl-Anthony Towns. His deal runs through the 2028-29 season with $45,431,034, coming the year after this one, and $48,362,068 in the final year. That $26 million salary represents about 25.6% of this season's salary cap. Age-wise, Anunoby is 29 years old, born July 17th, 1997, making this his 10th season in the league. He was drafted 23rd overall back in 2017 out of Indiana, spending 7 seasons in Toronto before landing in New York. His career numbers jumped significantly after the move, going from 11.8 points per game in Toronto up to 16.9 points per game as a Knick. He's now a 2-time NBA champion, picking up his first ring with Toronto back in 2019, though he missed that playoff run due to an emergency appendectomy. This most recent title with New York was a completely different story, since he played a massive role throughout the entire postseason run. So heading into the new season, Anunoby brings a resume that combines elite two-way production, a massive playoff scoring jump, all defensive recognition, and one of the most memorable moments in franchise history with that game-winning tip enduring the historic finals comeback. The stats paint a picture of a player who elevated his game at the exact right moment, all while remaining one of the league's premier defenders. One other important key part of their win was Josh Hart, and he too enters next season as an NBA champion. And his stat line tells one of the most unusual stories on the entire Knicks roster. He played 66 games last season, starting 52 of them, and averaged 12 points, 7.4 rebounds, 4.8 assists, and 1.1 steals a night in just over 30 minutes of action. He shot 50.8% from the field, 41.3% from three, and 72% from the free throw line, giving him a true shooting percentage of 61.2%. Let's talk about that rebounding number first, because it's honestly ridiculous. Hart stands at 6'5" and 215 pounds, yet he pulled down 7.4 boards a game. That included 1.4 offensive rebounds and 6 defensive rebounds a night. League-wide, that rebounding average ranked 27th in the entire NBA. And his 4.8 assists per game ranked 37th. For a guy his size, those numbers put him in company with much bigger players. Across the whole regular season, Hart racked up 792 points, 486 rebounds, 317 assists, 75 steals, and 17 blocks. He also finished with a plus 210 plus minus and 6.1 win shares, both numbers well above his career average. His player efficiency rating came in at 15.7 compared to his career mark of 13.5. Now here's where things get really interesting. His three-point shooting jumped to 41.3%, which is a career best by a wide margin, since his career average sits at 35%. That's a 6.3 percentage point jump. He wasn't chucking up threes to get there either, only attempting 3.7 a game. His field goal percentage of 50.8% was also well above his career average of 47.5%. Then the playoffs rolled around, and Hart's role shifted in a fascinating way. He played all 19 playoff games, and his scoring actually dropped to 10.4 points a game. But his rebounding jumped up to 8.9 boards a night. His assists stayed steady at 4.6 per game, and his steals climbed from 1.1 up to 1.7 per game. His shooting efficiency did take a hit during the playoffs though. His field goal percentage dropped to 43.1%, and his three-point shooting fell to 32.6%, bringing his true shooting percentage down to 52.5%. But here's the wild part. His individual defensive rating improved from 111.6 in the regular season all the way down to 101.1 in the playoffs, a difference of 10.5 points per 100 possession. And his plus minus for the postseason was an absurd plus 201 across those 19 games. The finals were where his rebounding really took off. Across 5 games against San Antonio, Hart averaged 7.6 points, 9.8 rebounds, and 4.6 assists. In Game 1 alone, he grabbed 15 rebounds to go with 6 assists, 4 steals, and 1 block, all while scoring just 3 points. Then in Game 2, he scored 0 points, but still pulled down 6 rebounds with 4 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. In the championship, clinching Game 5, he finished with 13 points and 11 rebounds, including 3 offensive boards. Hart also played through multiple injuries during the season. He dealt with a left thumb sprain during the Eastern Conference semifinals against Philadelphia, with x-rays confirming there was no fracture. He also carried over a right ring finger issue from a procedure back in July of 2025, choosing to play through it with a splint rather than have surgery that would keep him off the court. Let's get into the history now, because this part is wild too. Hart set the Knicks single-season franchise record for triple-doubles back in the 2024-25 season with 9, breaking a record that had stood since Walt Frazier set it at 8 back in 1968-69. That record stood for 56 years before Hart broke it. He also had 6 triple-doubles the year before that, giving him 15 total triple-doubles across 2 seasons, tying him with LeBron James over that same stretch. His college career adds another layer here too. Hart played at Villanova, winning the 2016 national championship there alongside current teammate Jalen Brunson. That connection between the two of them goes all the way back to college, and now they're NBA champions together in New York. Contract-wise, Hart is set to earn $20,923,760 this season, with $22,375,280 coming the year after. That makes him the lowest paid member of the Knicks' five-man championship core, sitting well below Karl-Anthony Towns at $57 million, OG Anunoby at $42.5 million, Jalen Brunson at $37.7 million, and Mikal Bridges at $33.5 million. Age-wise, Hart is 31 years old, born March 6, 1995, and he's entering his 10th season in the league after being drafted 30th overall back in 2017. So when you put it all together, Hart brings a statistical profile that doesn't rely on scoring to make an impact. His rebounding climbed at every level of competition, going from 7.4 in the regular season up to 8.9 in the playoffs, and then 9.8 in the final. Combine that with his career best shooting numbers, his franchise triple-double record, and his steady playmaking, and you've got a player whose value shows up in categories way beyond the box scores point total. Let's now shift our focus towards Mikal Bridges, who heads into next season as an NBA champion for the very first time. And his numbers tell the story of a player who completely reshaped his role to fit a title-winning team. Let's start with the basics. He played all 82 games last season, starting every single one, averaging 32.8 minutes a night. His stat line came out to 14.4 points, 3.8 rebounds, 3.7 assists, 1.3 steals, and 0.8 blocks a game. He shot 49% from the field, 37.1% from three, and 82.7% from the free throw line. Now here's something wild about his durability. Bridges extended his consecutive game streak to 638 straight games last season, which is the longest active streak in the entire NBA. That streak stretches all the way back to his rookie year, spanning 3 different franchises. In one especially strange stretch, back in the 2022-23 season, he actually played 83 total games across 2 teams after being traded mid-season, 56 with Phoenix and 27 with Brooklyn. His scoring did drop compared to his first season in New York. He averaged 17.6 points per game in his first Knicks season, and that fell to 14.4 points this past year. But here's the twist. His efficiency actually went up. His field goal percentage climbed from 46.3% to 49%. His usage rate dropped from 18.6% down to 15.4%, meaning he was taking on a smaller offensive role while shooting the ball better than ever. Nearly half of his shot attempts came from three-point range, with 43.6% of his field goals being threes. On catch-and-shoot three-pointers specifically, he knocked down 37.5%. He was also incredibly efficient inside 10 feet, shooting 68.3% from that range. Then the playoffs hit, and Bridges elevated his game in a massive way. Across all 19 playoff games, all of which he started, he averaged 13.5 points, 3.2 rebounds, 2.7 assists, 1 steal, and 0.3 blocks in 32 minutes a night. His shooting numbers jumped to 55.9% from the field and 36.5% from three. His free throw shooting rose to an incredible 92%, and his true shooting percentage for the playoffs hit 64.3%. His advanced numbers during that playoff run were outstanding too. His offensive rating sat at 119.5. His defensive rating was 103.8, giving him a net rating of plus 15.7. His assist to turnover ratio was 3.06, and he finished the playoffs with a plus 195 plus minus across those 19 games. He had some huge individual playoff performances too. He dropped 24 points on 10 for 12 shooting against Atlanta. He scored 22 points against Cleveland while adding 3 steals and 2 blocks. And in the finals, he had a game where he put up 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists while shooting 8 for 13 from the field and 4 for 6 from 3. Speaking of the finals, Bridges averaged 10.4 points, 3.6 rebounds, and 3.4 assists across the 5 games against San Antonio. He shot 46.5% from the field and 42.1% from 3, both numbers that topped his regular season shooting marks in those categories. In the championship, clinching Game 5, he closed things out with 14 points, 4 assists, and a block in nearly 39 minutes of action. Let's talk contract now. Bridges signed a 4-year, $150 million extension with New York back on August 1st, 2025, before any of this championship run even happened.
His salary for this upcoming season sits at $33,482,145. That number climbs to $36,160,714 the year after, then $38,839,285 the following year, with a player option worth $41,517,856 in the final season. Age-wise, Bridges is currently 29 years old, born August 30th, 1996, meaning he'll turn 30 right around the start of next season. He was drafted 10th overall back in 2018 by Philadelphia before being traded to Phoenix on draft night. New York acquired him from Brooklyn back in July of 2024, giving up 5 future first-round picks, a pick swap, and a future second-rounder to get him. His career path has taken him through some very different offensive roles. In Phoenix, he was mostly a complementary two-way piece. During a short stint in Brooklyn, after being traded, his usage rate spiked to nearly 30%, and he actually averaged over 20 points a game across that season when you combine both stops. But in New York, his usage dropped back down to around 15%, yet his shooting efficiency reached the best levels of his career. He also has one previous NBA Finals appearance back in 2021 with Phoenix, though that team came up short against Milwaukee. This time around, 5 years later, he finally got the ring. So heading into next season, Bridges enters as a 29-year-old champion who just posted the most efficient stretch of basketball in his career, combining elite three-point shooting, rock-solid defense, incredible durability, and a role built around doing a little bit of everything rather than needing the ball in his hand. The numbers show a player who found his most effective form by scoring less and shooting better than ever before. And we cannot forget about Jose Alvarado as he enters next season with a brand new contract and a championship ring. And his path to get there is honestly one of the more interesting stories on this roster. Let's start with the contract situation, because it's a big deal. Alvarado declined his $4.5 million player option and instead signed a new 3-year deal worth more than $14 million with the Knicks, made official on July 6th, 2026. That means there's zero uncertainty here. He's locked in with New York beyond this upcoming season. Age-wise, Alvarado is 28 years old, born April 12th, 1998, and he's heading into his 6th NBA season. He stands at 6 feet tall and 179 pounds, making him one of the smaller guards in the league. He went undrafted back in 2021 out of Georgia Tech, and his career path took him from New Orleans all the way to New York. Speaking of that journey, the Knicks acquired Alvarado midseason at the February trade deadline in 2026, sending Dalen Terry 2 second-round picks and cash to New Orleans in return. So his time in New York last season wasn't even a full season. It was a partial sample after the trade. Let's break down his overall 2025-26 numbers first. Across both stops, he appeared in 69 games, averaging 7.4 points, 2.5 rebounds, 3.4 assists, and 1 steal a night, while shooting 41.6% from the field, 35.2% from 3, and 76.1% from the free throw line. Once he landed with the Knicks specifically, his role became clear. Over 28 regular season games, he averaged 16.9 minutes, 6.6 points, 3.8 assists, and 1 steal a night, starting just 3 of those games. This wasn't a high usage role. It was clearly built around perimeter defense, ball pressure, and secondary playmaking. Then the playoffs hit, and his role shrunk even further in terms of minutes. Across all 18 playoff games, Alvarado averaged just 9.4 minutes a night, putting up 4.2 points, 1.4 rebounds, 1.2 assists, and 0.6 steals. He shot 43.3% from the field and 35.3% from 3 during that stretch. He didn't start a single playoff game. But here's where things get interesting. Before the playoffs even started, reports indicated Mike Brown's probable 9-man playoff rotation didn't even include Alvarado. He was on the outside, looking in based on that initial plan. Yet by the time the finals rolled around, he became one of the most memorable role players of the entire championship run. That moment came in Game 4 of the NBA Finals. San Antonio built a 29-point lead over New York. The Knicks stormed back to win 107-106, and Alvarado was a massive part of it. He played 9 minutes and 40 seconds in the fourth quarter alone, scoring 8 points, dishing 3 assists, and grabbing 2 rebounds. He went 3 for 3 from 3-point range during that stretch.
The Knicks outscored San Antonio by 17 points during his fourth quarter minutes on the floor. Mike Brown specifically credited him after the game for changing things. That fourth quarter stint also included him playing alongside Jalen Brunson, who went on to win Finals MVP. Brown made the choice to use Alvarado in that crunch time situation instead of Mikal Bridges, giving the Knicks another ball handler and shooter next to their primary offensive engine. His shooting numbers tell a pretty consistent story across his career too. His career three-point percentage sits at 34.9%. His 20, 25, 26 mark was 35.2%, and his playoff percentage with the Knicks came in at 35.3%. All three numbers land right around the same mid-30s range. His career averages overall sit at 8 points, 3.2 assists, 2.3 rebounds, and 1.1 steals per game, shooting 41.2% from the field and 75.7% from the free throw line across 296 career games with 37 career starts. One of the wildest individual games of his season came on February 11th, 2026 against Philadelphia, when he dropped 26 points off the bench, making 8 three-pointers and racking up 5 steals. That performance made him the first player in Knicks history to come off the bench and put up at least 25 points, 5 steals, and 5 made threes in the same game. His defensive reputation is built around ball pressure, quickness, and disruption, earning him the nickname Grand Theft Alvarado for his knack of generating steals. His career steal average sits at 1.1 per game, and that ball pressure was a big reason the Knicks acquired him in the first place, with the team specifically citing perimeter defense as their motivation for the trade. The Knicks roster also includes other guards like Miles McBride and Tyler Kolek, so Alvarado isn't the only option in that backcourt rotation behind Jalen Brunson. McBride averaged 12 points, 2.6 assists, and 2.4 rebounds across 41 games last season, while Kolek put up 4.4 points and 2.7 assists over 62 games. So heading into next season, Alvarado brings a track record of low usage offense mixed with high impact defensive pressure, a demonstrated scoring ceiling shown by that 26-point outburst, and a proven willingness from Mike Brown to trust him in the biggest moments, including alongside the Finals MVP during the largest comeback in Finals history. The numbers paint the picture of a bench piece who found his biggest moment at the exact right time. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll be posting every day. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.